welcome back to the Barely Made podcast. My name is Nick. I'm joined here with Rocky, and we have a special episode today. We have special guests coming back, making a comeback.
We're back. We are back.
It's tough. It's tough to get guests every week. I'm not making excuses.
No excuses.
But hey.
We love a good excuse, but we're not making any excuses right now.
Yeah, I mean, typically the only excuses is you making excuses of why LeBron isn't better than Jordan. But that's a topic in itself. But we have, I think, one of the biggest names in the Instagram golf space joining us today.
Yeah.
My jersey that I'm rocking right now is a little bit of an indication. Come on. Shout out St. Andre. We have Hannah from St. Andre joining us today. She is hilarious. Her one video, the influencer training that she does with the PGA players, I still think is one of the best golf skits of the year.
Yeah.
It's incredible. And then you told me that you really love the Bryson one.
The Bryson one, when she comes outside and starts just laying into Aaron, was by far my favorite one.
It's so good.
Still gets me to this day. I've watched it 100 times and I will just lose it. It's so funny.
I know, she's
super
great.
Happy to have her on. I've never met her before, so I'm super excited.
She knows ball.
She's
a certified ball knower.
That's gonna make everything super easy for me to start talking with her, because I love me some ball too. So
yeah, it's gonna be a good episode. So without further ado, we're gonna get Hannah in here. All right. Well, this week we have a special guest, one of my favorite creators in the space. We have none other than Hannah from St. Andre. Hannah, thank you for coming on. This has been a special guest that I've wanted on here for a while. Rock knows I know, so pumped to have you on, and thanks for taking the time.
Thank you, and thank you for showing up in the St. Andre jersey. It's like free promo. We're grateful. We're grateful. I'll take that. Thank you so much. You look great. Yeah.
I will say bonus points because Aaron also sent one for my wife, and I always say that if somebody, because I don't mean this in like a brag way, but like obviously I get like a ton of like packages and stuff from brands, and like when my wife gets something or someone's like, hey, we want to send something for your wife too, I'm like, bonus points, like like it's I mean, happy wife, happy life, so now it's a couple goals when we're rocking the jerseys. But I posted yesterday and I was like, finally, like a team that won't let me down. Probably the only baseball team that wouldn't let me down. I mean, who knows? St. Andre, professional baseball. I could see y'all doing something like that.
Maybe. That's the one area I won't really touch. I'm a big sports person, but baseball, I just couldn't do it. Aaron loves baseball, and I just.
What's your favorite sport?
I'm a diehard. I know basketball. I'm a diehard basketball fan, Timberwolves fan forever and ever.
That's awesome.
And then football. I do enjoy football a lot. I mean, I follow most of them. Hockey too is a little more lax, but the big two for me are football and basketball.
Did you play basketball? Or just a fan? Nice. Okay.
I did, awesome. I got some D3 offers, turned them down. No big deal, guys.
When we were at the Bridgestone shoot, we were talking Vikings and Timberwolves. And like, I mean, she like really knows ball. Like we were talking like Anthony Edwards, we're talking Justin Jefferson, like, which by the way, just a great time for Minnesota sports right now.
It is.
It's fun. It's fun to be close, but then it's also, you have to remember, as being a fan this long in Minnesota, we've never won. I mean, the Lynx have won a couple times now, which is very cool. But the teams like I grew up in particularly, which was the Wolves and the Vikings so heavily, we get so close.
Yeah.
And it's tough to get close and not taste it.
But those Garnett days had to have been fun though, being a fan.
You know what? Can I cuss on this podcast, by the way?
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
I heard fuck for the first time from Kevin Garnett.
Did you really?
Yes. My dad, it was like such a special occasion. So my dad, his company bought like a bunch of seats right behind the bench. And my dad every year would get like tickets to a couple of games that they like gave to their employees. So we got to go. And I remember he would do that thing, like he'd smack. He just was so energetic, and he would come off the bench. He just gets so, and I remember being like,
yeah. Oh man.
Yeah. What did he
say? Yeah. My dad,
awesome.
My sweet, tender dad was like, didn't know what to do. I just watched his face. Like,
you don't want to say that one.
No, he really then pushed us after that. He made us big. We became big Wally Zerbiak fans because he was a little more clean cut. And then Sam Cassell. He really pushed Sam Cassell on us because these are guys who are like, were very intentionally very clean on the court. I think my dad's like, I know you love Kevin Garnett, but have you checked out Sam Cassell? We're like,
I mean,
sure.
they're saying he might be the next Michael Jordan.
He might be. He might be.
I love that. So you and just St. Andre in general, I always say in the Instagram world is like, I always call St. Andre the gold standard for like sketch comedy in the Instagram world. I know like before I started doing content, I would always watch St. Andre stuff and be like, these are the type of videos I want to make. These guys do it better than, anyone else right now. How much?
Thank you. I appreciate that, by the way.
Of course.
I second that too.
Obviously, I'm, very excited to always tell people like, I filmed with him. We did a couple things, but I want to ask how much, because I know you guys are very methodical with like, the script writing and the plotting and stuff like that. How much of it, like when you guys are in the moment, is just kind of like spitballing, freestyling it? Because I know from like doing that type of content myself, sometimes that just feels more natural and it ends up coming out with like a funnier final product. What would you say the percentages of like staying like really on script and just kind of like going with the flow?
Honestly, I think at this point, I would say it's 60-40, 60% more on the improv side, 40% more on the heavy scripted. I think what's been nice, I mean, in the beginning, Jonathan and I didn't know as much about golf.
Yeah.
I think we were comedians first, and Aaron's the one who's been a golfer for, 20 years as well as a comedian. But now as someone who's been more enriched in the game, I feel like because, my background was comedy first. And so learning golf now and meshing that with comedy, I have a little more confidence in the riffing because I know, I think the world way better. So now I think it's also fun that Aaron's such a good director. I think he trusts us a lot, where he's kind of like, play with the words. Here's kind of what I want to achieve with the joke. And so then we can kind of riff within those. So we kind of have a confine of like, here's how we want to start it. Here's kind of how we want to end it. And we find the middle ground as we're going through it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's awesome.
Rock, I know Rock wants to say something because his favorite sketch of y'all's was one that he literally came to tears after watching.
Yeah, the one where he's reenacting, you guys are doing the Bryson house when you come out. That made me cry tears. It was by far one of the funniest things I've ever watched. Now, is that all off the cuff, or is that somewhat scripted? Because that was perfect.
Most of that was off the cusp. That was Aaron texting me the day before because we knew how timely it was. So he kind of texted me the day before and was like, hey, would you ever want to meet up tomorrow? Because I think I flew out that night somewhere. And he's like, do you have 2 hours to meet up tomorrow? And I was like, yes. And he had a couple of things that he was like, put this in there. But by the end, it was just me kind of.
It was so good.
Riffing until the point where when we yelled cut, I walked over and I'm like, am I being a little too mean? I feel like I'm being too mean. And he's like, no, it's perfect. And I was like, I'm saying really shitty things.
As like a tear falls down his face, he's like, no, it's great.
He's like, you're good, keep going. So I think my favorite part about that sketch was kind of Aaron letting me just go. He just letting me have fun, which was a blast. But like those cars driving by, because we were just on our friend's street and we both improvised joking, like didn't plan for it. Both were like, hey, and then we're like, oh, we have to make that a bit. Then we like know the person
so much. I mean, it was already hilarious before that, but just like that, where it's like when you're in public and you're fighting with a spouse and you see someone, you're like, hey, like the quick like switch up.
There's nothing worse, than you see someone you know and you're like, because they're going to talk about it later. So you're like, oh, hey, no, everything's great. We love each other.
You're like, well, no, it's fine. It's a bit. We're doing a sketch, We're doing a bit. But yeah, so I'm glad. Yes, I was very fortunate. Aaron had a couple, I think he had the Buffalo line in there. And then afterwards I was like, what if I just got insane? And he's like, go for it.
I
forgot what exactly the wordage was, but you like called him a doughboy. And I lost it. That doughboy was hilarious.
Pathetic doughboy.
That's what it was.
Yep. It's like the fake film. Like, I had a child.
Yeah, there's some. Aaron's such a good sport. He puts up with so much, and he's such a good. We did a sketch recently where, like, the opening line I said to him, I was like, "You really benefited from the body positivity movement, didn't you?" And I want to like write in the comments. I'm like, Aaron came up with that joke. Okay, I want you guys to know that sometimes Aaron comes up with these horrific jokes about himself. I bet people think I just sit in my house and I'm like, "What's a terrible thing I could say about Aaron?"
Hey, ChatGPT, what's the meanest thing I could say about this guy?
Like, are we talking about Aaron again? I got loads.
Oh gosh, it's like every week they should have like new insults for him. Do you ever go through like y'all's comments? Like when you post these videos, do you ever like go through and like, or like look for like the troll comments?
I think yes, sometimes. I think you could really like really deep dive. I used to look at it more from, sounds weird. I don't know if you do this, less of looking at it for a personal thing. It does feel nice. You get a comment, you're like, oh, that's so great. But sometimes I'll read them for like research.
Yeah.
To kind of be like, oh, maybe they're not vibing with this as much. Kind of, I try and get like a temp check.
Yeah.
On a type of sketch sometimes. So sometimes I'll look at it now to be like, what's the response to this? Or like, oh, there's a lot of comments. I think a little part of my like
seeing what's sticking
math brain is like, okay, what's mathing here and what's not.
Yeah.
I know every once in a while though, I'll go to like that Dubai video and I'll be like, this feels pretty good. I'm back on top.
Yeah.
I'm feeling down.
Sometimes you have to go back to like the classics and be like,
for sure.
I think it's like such a roller coaster. Like I'm finally kind of like seeing the content world for like, you know, there's ups and downs, like the algorithm's constantly changing. And like sometimes like, I don't know, I still have never figured it out why like the videos that you're like, man, this is going to crush, like this video is going to do great. And then it flops and then you'll just put a video on, you'd be like, I couldn't care less about this video. And it goes crazy.
Oh.
I don't know how the algorithm does that, but it's insane.
That was actually one of my questions for you, Hannah. Is there a certain skit that like you didn't think was going to do very well that you put out and actually crushed that pops out to you, or maybe even the other way around where you thought one was going to do really well that didn't?
Yeah, I think there's some like when we'll put a little more production value into it that we're like, this is going to be. So then when it doesn't, we are a little bit like, shoot. I mean, the one that we're all still like the biggest viewed or the highest viewed video we have is like a dumb dick joke. I don't know if you guys know this, but we have a video on there where he's like, hey, you know that's illegal, right? A grown man holding a little boy's penis when like his friend's peeing in the woods.
That's our most viewed one?
That's the biggest, most viewed one. And we're like, that took maybe 20 minutes.
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
But I also think it's a reminder of like, because less is more, but also this is why I think we all have to give ourselves just grace, because that also I think did really well because there was a ton of hate comments of people being like, I already heard this joke. And then people being like, an oldie but goodie. So it just was generated. There's also one time when we made a video that went like accidentally viral when we did a video about like, we did a collab post with Body Armor about like drinking Body Armor after being hungover the night before. And this was at the time, do you remember when Bud Light was like going through a bunch of things and people like hated it or loved it? We were holding Bud Light cans, but covering it just because we needed to show that we were drinking the night before. And the way that the comments started like infighting, it made it this like we're all like, oh, we did not expect this. So sometimes I'm like, we just have to forget that we are not in control of any of this.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
I know. We're like, oh.
They just see a blue can and they're like, I know what that beer is.
That piss water? You couldn't catch me. And we're like, great.
Why don't you drink a real beer, brother? I got this IPA. It tastes like mossy oak and oranges collided.
Yeah. And we were like, okay. You know what I mean? It just was such a funny thing that we never had to comment anything because everyone had an opinion about it. I'm like, I guess we don't need an opinion. We'll just stay out of it.
That's wild. The funny thing is I have something kind of similar to that. Like whenever I do the ones where it's like, the buddies text me to go play golf and it's like me passive aggressively asking my wife. For some reason, like that one always does well, even though I've like posted different variations of it. And I think that one of the reasons is because I also get a ton of engagement / comments from like, you know, just alpha males that are like, dude, this is such beta energy. Like be a man and like tell your wife to submit and that you're going golfing. And I'm like, dude, first of all, in what world would this ever be a serious conversation? And I would be like, let me film myself. Like, this is a serious thing. Like, it's just wild that people will comment that not realizing that it's like a sketch. And so I think that like those comments mixed with like just the people obviously, you know, getting the joke and being like, oh, this is relatable. So kind of similar to that. But I feel like I need to go buy like a 12-pack of Bud Light now and film.
Just do that. Yeah, see what happens. Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes those comments I want to be like, dude, do you hate your wife? What do you like? Sometimes men in the comments will say things I'm like, do you hate her? What's happening? What's going on? I'm like, yeah. And the comedy, I think we've had this conversation is that sometimes I think satire can go over people's heads really fast. And you're like, oh, maybe you don't get it. And that,
I don't think they do.
I'm going to let you be there, brother.
Or like people will be like, this is why I'm single. And I'm like, oh, I'm sure that this is the reason that you're single. It's not because of just your terrible personality. But
Yeah.
I digress. You know, funny enough, I actually was just telling Aaron, I was texting him like a week and a half ago, because speaking of Bud Light, because I was getting ready to say, we don't promote Bud Light, we promote Long Drink. Shout out Long Drink,
We
because
do.
we
Shout
do.
out.
Shout out Long Drink. I was like, dude, I was like, I want to come down to Atlanta and like film. There was like a bunch of sketches that I had for the Pinehurst trip that we went on that we just like didn't have time to get. But it's funny that you said that one video took y'all 20 minutes, because when we filmed, when we were in Pinehurst, like the attention to detail that Aaron has, and then after finding out he went to like film school and stuff like that, I was like, I get it. That was the first time that I'd ever gone to like a golf course and filmed and not played golf. Like we got ready, you know, dressed like we were going to go golf. And then we were out there for like 4 hours and didn't play any golf. And I was like, this is crazy. But like now getting more into it, I see like, okay, it makes sense, because it's so hard to do both and not have like your mind in two different directions. What I want to ask you this, what was like the most fun you ever had filming one of y'all's videos? Like, was it with a collab with somebody, or was it just like one y'all were doing as a group?
Yeah, great question. I mean, we're so lucky, and having a team of people that I genuinely love is so fun. And I say that as someone who's like been in the entertainment industry a minute now, and like you get to show up every day to work with people that I'm like, I trust everyone in this room,
Yeah.
and nobody's ego is so big that it like overrides the purity of the project. You know, everyone would rather the joke is good than one performance be good, which is really cool. And I think a testament to that is one time we did a sketch, which was one of my favorites, because it was just such a collaborative effort. And it was the sketch we did about playing slow. He's like, Aaron drove up with Jonathan. It was me and Andrew. And he's like, hey, thanks for playing slow. And we kind of all had, like, it was another one of those improvised moments where we all kind of knew what it wanted to be, but we wanted to figure out the funny. And so we just all started riffing with each other. Like, what would we say? So Aaron said that line. He said some kind of line and about like, oh, you know, we get to talk about his niece's thing this weekend. And I just was like, that's amazing. I can't have kids. And then everyone started like laughing, and we're like, okay, let's like find a joke there.
Yeah.
And then Andrew is so quick that he jumped in and he's like, that's court ordered, not medical. And I'm like, this is all, everyone just was firing at 100. And we just all kept laughing as friends. And I was like, okay, great. These are the jokes. They found themselves.
Yeah.
And it just felt like such a fun bit of everyone kind of getting to drop a bit of their genius in. And the product was great. Yeah, it was awesome.
I think it's cool being like surrounded by just people in the creative realm, especially in the golf space. Like I always like joke with people, because I actually randomly got paired up with some people at the golf course the other day, and the guy was like, yeah, he's like, you know, the only like Instagram creators that I follow is you and what is it, Saint? And I was like, Saint Andre, and he was like, yeah. He's like, those guys are hilarious. I was like, yeah, they're great. But it's funny. I always tell people that like being around someone like Aaron, like when we were at Pinehurst, he's like one of those people where I'll like pitch him an idea. And at first I was so scared to pitch him ideas, because I'm like, I don't want to pitch him an idea. And he was like, oh yeah. And I'm like, oh, does he hate this? But I would pitch him an idea and he'd be like, oh, that's funny. He's like, you could also do this. And I would be like, oh, that is way funnier. Yeah, I'll just probably go with that idea, actually. But it's got to be cool, like being like surrounded by like, you know what I'm saying, like him and like Andrew. And like, obviously, I'm not saying that you're like not creative, because you're very creative.
It's okay.
Like,
you're saying I'm a piece of shit. I get it.
But like, it's got to be cool. Like that's like the people that you work with, and it's like the creative and the wittiness and stuff just bounces off. I feel like that's the type of stuff that like makes you better. That's why I love the opportunity to like collab with other creators and stuff like that. It's just keeps you sharp.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's everyone is so funny. Everyone's so good. It can be intimidating sometimes. Andrew Stanley, I think, is one of the funniest people I've ever met. Like I've never met someone who's so dry and so quick. And Aaron's so good because he sees the full picture, which makes him so good at what he does. And Jonathan is also one of like the silliest and wackiest, and like nothing is off limits for him. So you're kind of in this realm of so many different types of creative funny that you have to rise, as I'm sure, like, yeah, you'll see, you throw something to Aaron, he sees it, I think, from a directorial lens. And he's always thinking of those kind of boxes, which makes it really fun to want to create with him. Yeah. But yeah, I'm sure you're just sitting in there with a vacuum with your own ideas. Does that ever get hard when it's like you're the only one kind of pitching and you're in that think tank?
Yeah, it does. I think that it's like after like watching like St. Andre stuff, and then another guy that I recently did something with was James Lynch. I don't know if you know him.
Yeah.
But he like him and like Aaron like they just see things from like a directorial standpoint that like I was telling James, I was like, dude, it's like part of what I love about your content, I love about St. Andre's content is just like, you know, the storytelling and the plot. It's something that I want to get better at with my videos of not just being like, because you can always just do like a relatable video, like, oh, you know, in the group in front of you play slow. But it's like, I want to get more into like, it's like a story that you really have to like kind of understand and go with. I think that I always like try and think like, all right, like what's like the punchline? Like what is going to make this like really funny? Or like, what do you like end it on? But then sometimes I'm also worried because like it, obviously I'm sure, you know, by looking at like Instagram analytics, a lot of people don't make it to the end of the video. So it's almost kind of like, you have to have like a punchline in the beginning, and then you kind of have to have like another one in the middle, and then you have to like obviously like end on a high note to really like, you know, bring it all back in. But I will say that like, you know, kind of running a one-man show, I am really blessed in the fact that like my wife has the same personality as me. And so
yeah, 100%.
She actually provides a lot of great ideas. Like I'll be like, oh, I had this idea for a video. And she'll be like, oh, that's so funny. Like you could also like add this in. And I'll be like, oh yeah, that's great. And so we'll kind of like riff back and forth like that too, which is really cool. I'm really fortunate with that. I'm actually getting ready we're going to do like an official wife reveal. I'm going to start like having her on camera in the videos, because I mean, for months now, people have been asking, like, dude, like, why is your wife like never on camera? And for the longest time, part of it was just like, you know, you see the troll comments or the negative comments, and it's like, I can handle it because I see them all the time. But like, if people say that about her, it's like, well, then I'm gonna like find your IP address and
for sure. You can make fun of me. You make fun of someone I love, I will murder everyone you ever cared about. Yeah.
Then I'm 100%. Going Liam Neeson from Taken on you. So
for sure. For sure.
So I'm excited. So it's like, and I told her too, I'm like, once you like start getting on camera, I was like, that's when like it's really gonna test your acting skills, because it's easy to do it like behind the camera when you're kind of just talking.
For sure.
When you get on and you got to do like facial expressions and stuff like that, it gets a little bit more tough, but she's excited for it.
Nick's already ready with notes. He's gonna be like, listen, babe, I need you to emote.
Again,
from the
top. Not my tempo. Exactly.
I love it.
Yeah.
Raj, did you have another one?
Yeah. Is there a dream collab for you that you would love to collab with and do a skit with?
I mean, you've already filmed with Tiger, so that's.
Yeah, I know. Like, athlete. Anything.
There's one recently that I think would just be funny. I mean, there's like, you know, I really want to play now. Recently on my videos, people have been like, are you the blonde Caitlin Clark? So now I just want to play golf with Caitlin Clark.
That's a really good
people
one.
People have been saying that.
Yeah, I would love to play with her too. I'm a huge fan of Caitlin Clark.
I know. She's so, and I'm like, I've had friends that are commercial directors and they've worked with her, and they're like, dude, she eats, sleeps, and breathes ball. I'm like, I just want to talk to this person who's just like locked in all the time. It's just an athlete. I want to see what she's like. So someone like her would be really fun. I also want to find these like random, I recently heard that Kristen Stewart, the actress from Twilight, plays golf. I'm like, I want to get these random outlier people and get them on the golf course and see what they're like. You know what I mean? Like, that'd be so fun.
Good ones.
What a group that would be.
That would be a good one.
What group? Yeah, it'd be. So those ones would be fun. I'm also so used to like, I'm a 13, 14 handicap. So I keep having to do these grudge matches with people who are like 4 and 5. So I'm like, I'd love for someone who's a little on my level to play some golf.
I need some strokes. Did they give you strokes when you do those?
No, I'm usually like in those. When we do like a pro-am, obviously it's based on handicap. But no, when we do these videos, it's usually like me with someone who's way better. And I'm always the foil. Like Peter Finch I'm pretty sure he ruined his wedges having to play with me in Arizona. He's like, when I got these were so clean at the bottom. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. Like, what? Who did that?
They could probably just send you new ones if you ask them.
Yeah, you're probably in a fine position. I don't feel bad for you, Peter Finch.
And you haven't even played golf that long, which is so impressive that you're like a 13, 14.
Yeah, I'm going on 2 years, I think, now. But I also have one of those type of, thank you, I appreciate it. Rocky, I have one of these like obsessive personalities where I'm like always scared to be like the worst one. Like I think that comes from me. Like
similar to that.
Are you? Yeah, being an athlete, I think growing up, I'm like, I don't like being bad. I don't like being bad in front of people. So let's do everything we can to be good overnight, even though that's not how it works.
It's not going to work that way, but
it's
you're
really
try
not.
your best.
We try our best. So,
but that just means that you're an athlete. Like you pick up the game 2 years ago and you're already like on the higher end of like a, you know, mid handicap. So like you're flirting with like single digits. I mean, to be there, because I always like tell people like when people would play with me, they'd be like, dude, you're not bad for a COVID golfer. And I'm like, yeah, I've been playing for 20 years. And they're like, oh my God. And I'm like, yeah, just been this bad for a long time. I don't know what to tell you, but I feel like now, because it's my job, like, you know, the brand is Bad Golf, but like behind closed doors, I want to be good so bad. Like,
absolutely.
Like nobody wants to be bad at golf. We just lean into it because that's what's relatable. But like, I mean, yesterday I played and was like, I could snap this wedge over my knee right now. Like,
it gets like that sometimes.
It's I don't know what it is. It's just like one day you're on, swing feels good, and
for
like
sure.
The next day it's a roller coaster where I'm like, I don't mind, you know, tailing off a little bit, but like when it just feels like you completely lose it.
We're getting old, and like your swing path, if it changes a half a centimeter, everything could be off. So you could sleep wrong one night, go to play the next day, and your neck hurts, and now your swing's off a little bit, and everything could just be off plane, and it could just be a nightmare out there. So
you work out a little too hard the night before, and you're like, something in my like exercise. I've recently been doing Pilates, guys, and I gotta tell you, that's hard, and I think it's affecting my swing, so I might have to go.
No, well, I've been thinking about something along the lines of that, just because I watched a video of me hitting a driver yesterday, and I was like, I am like disgusted watching this video, just the lack of flexibility. I'm like, if I look like this at 33, I don't know if I'll be swinging a golf club at 53. Like, it's like a chair trying to be flexible. It just doesn't look good.
It's not going to look good.
Whether it's Pilates or yoga or gymnastics, I don't know. I'm willing to try anything at this point.
I hear yoga helps in flexibility. I did ask that. This guy gave me like a lesson recently. It was a one-time lesson. And he recently hit me up and he was like, how's the game looking? And my response was exactly what you just said, Nick. I was like, when do I get to the point where it doesn't look gross when I'm hitting the ball? Like, when does it stop looking weird? Like, the ball might be fine, okay, on the fairway, but why does the swing look bad in comparison to everyone else?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I'm like, why does it look insane?
I don't like this. I feel the same way when I watch myself swing. It's just like, why doesn't it look like Grant's?
Yeah.
It's like, I just want to look like, it doesn't have to go where Grant's goes. I just want to look like Grant.
Yeah, it looks so effortless. And I'm like, why does mine look so forced? So much energy.
Even the tempo aspect of it. Like, I went to the range the other night and was like intentionally swinging slower. And I was like, okay, this feels like good tempo. And then I went back and watched the video. And it still is just so like jerky with the movements. And I'm like, I don't know how they do it.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to look good. I mean, I don't care if I'm shanking it 30 yards to the right. Like, at least look good. I can put a tracer on it and act like it went.
I can lie. I can cheat. I can fix that in post.
Come on. That's what influencers do.
That's what we do.
Come on. Fake it till you make it. I had this idea and I want to get your opinion on it. It is, who would win in a rap battle, but it's YouTube golfer version. So what we're going to do is I'm going to give you two people and I want you to tell me who you think would win in a rap battle.
Love that. Okay, great.
This is going to be good.
I just have a list here of a ton of YouTube golfers, so I'm just going to pair each of them up.
Okay.
And see.
Okay, good.
All right. First one we're going to start out with Bradford versus DOD King. Who do you think would win in a rap battle?
Bradford also on Charm Alone. His rhymes might not be good, but he's going to be super charming, and he's going to do one line that everyone's like,
that's true.
Yeah.
Bradford he's very smooth.
He's the smoothest man that's ever lived. Like, I think about that. I was like, he's smooth. He's going to step up with full confidence. Like, sorry, you said DOD King? No chance. Mm-hmm. He'll be killed off even before he touches the mic.
Shots fired.
Sorry, respectfully, but also disrespectfully.
All right, next up we have Malosi versus Aaron.
Aaron, I have to go. Aaron, my paycheck depends on it.
Aaron. Yeah, you're like, that's my boss. I don't know what you want me to say.
My paycheck depends on that.
Yeah.
Let's see. Grant Horvat versus Mason.
Anybody else?
Anybody?
Mason, not Grant. Yeah. Are you kidding me?
I don't know. I actually was thinking about this and I was like, could Grant have bars? I don't know.
I think here's what I think, and this impression is going to be respectful and disrespectful. I think Grant would be like, he'd just be laughing through all of it. You know what I mean? I think he'd try, and then he'd have that big smile, and he'd be like, you know. I just think he'd be like, he just goes, nah.
Mic drop.
That was it. And because he's just such a smiley guy, I think he would try and start, and then he'd just laugh his way out of it. And then
For
That's
sure.
fair.
he'd be like, I can't do it. He couldn't do it.
Did you guys see the video of him running today?
Against Saquon.
Yes, who was
Oh my,
Yeah.
that was so funny.
that was tough.
That's
I've
so
seen
good.
I've seen Aaron run, and that was a tough watch. Grant, that might have been a tough
Grant
watch
was
too.
tough too.
Grant was tough.
Yeah, Grant was tough,
Yeah.
but it was a great video though. It was awesome.
Absolutely.
I don't want to film myself running
Me
anymore.
neither. I might get hurt.
Yeah, it looks worse than
I
the
know.
swing, which is
Mhm.
hard to do. What about Grant versus George Bryan?
Wow.
I feel like you know what you're doing. I feel like... Let's see. Let's pick the two whitest golfers and see
Yeah.
who could be a better rapper.
Oh, shit.
Respectfully to both of them. I guess I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna go George on this one.
Okay.
Okay.
I think
Okay.
he
I
might.
like it.
I think George might get like he'll get kind of serious and he'll really think on it.
Mhm.
I think Grant's such a smiley laugher. They both are, but I get to see Grant kind of just like watching George rap and just giggling and then being like, I can't follow that.
Yeah, that's true.
George might really try.
Yeah.
He might mathematically start thinking about it
Lock
and
in.
lock in, trying to do the things.
All right, I got to go one right here. Roger Steele or Will Lowry?
These are so tough. I'm gonna go Roger.
Roger
I'm also
Steele
gonna
or
what?
We
Obviously,
might need to
lots.
see that. We might
Obviously,
need to see
lot.
that.
Yeah.
yeah, no, I mean,
Lot's gonna get up to the mic before he even starts. He'll go ee, and then get right into it, and then and then you're gonna be locked in. You're like, oh, yeah. Sorry for
I
making
love
that loud
it.
noise. My thing was like, your mic is too high. You're
I know
yelling
that's
too
good.
loud.
So funny. No,
So yeah,
I will.
that alone.
Roger, I listened to Stick Talk, that track with Roger on it, and Roger
Oh.
went crazy. And I was like, I did not know Roger was like this on the mic.
I didn't
because
either.
he did a verse for like the OG rap that I put out. He did like a verse challenge on it, and he only posted it to his story. And I remember watching it and being like, dog, you got to post this on your page. Like, this is really good. And he's like, nah, like I'm staying in my lane. And I was like, this is, I mean,
Don't stay in your lane.
This could be your lane.
and he was like, nah,
Yeah.
I'm good. And I was like, that, like, yeah, he's got crazy flow. Obviously,
Another,
live is just,
yeah. I just think it'd be fun. I mean, the sound effects alone would just be so funny and so good. He would kill it.
All right, a couple more here. Bobby Fairways or Sonny?
Bobby Fairways.
You know,
Sonny's a more,
Sonny has
So
bars
good.
though.
does he? He's just so
So,
like
yes.
methodical and slow. Like maybe he could do like a nice slow because whenever
Mm.
he does his monologues, he's more subdued, which there's a place for that. I get to see Bobby Fairways being more aggressive, and I feel like aggressive on the mic tends to win out. But the
We would
wordplay by
have to
Sonny
make-
might be pretty good.
I could see Bobby Fairways getting a ghostwriter though.
Oh,
Yeah,
Low-key shots
yeah.
fired. Low-key
Yeah,
shots
Low-key
fired.
it
shots
could,
fired.
It could be, but I could just see that as something that happening where he gets a ghostwriter and he comes in hot.
Joe just in the background, just like penning and
Yeah.
punchlines for him.
Might be
Rocky's
somewhat different
like-
than Joe, but
Rocky's like, I don't think Bobby Fairways can read or write, so he'll have to get a ghostwriter on there.
I don't know
Low-key.
though, because like I think about like his videos where like, he's talking about the one where like his neighbor like busted his tail light. And like I just think
Mhm.
about like the like thinking that you have to have for that
yeah, it's true. It is true.
to like just the verbiage and vocabulary. So I mean, I could see him being like a good freestyler. Like just I think the wittiness, like if you can be wittiness in a creative sense of like videos and just like off the cuff when it comes to like sketch comedy, I think that you can do like freestyle stuff, which is one of the reasons
sure.
I think that Aaron could probably handle a lot of people on this list.
I think so too. I think Aaron, again, another person that's really witty. Like if y'all spent, and you have, Rocky, I don't know if you have, but you'll just be sitting there and you'll say something and Aaron will think of like a pun about whatever you said in the moment so quick. Like I think his brain is just, I think he thinks in
Yeah.
bars and lines half the
Yeah.
time because he's a writer, I think at heart, comedy writer.
He thinks in creative.
He thinks in creative.
Who would win in a rap battle, Aaron or me?
Are you trying to,
Paycheck.
are you
Yeah,
trying
you're
to,
trying to get her
fuck with
fired.
my
You don't have to
paycheck?
answer it. You don't have to answer
You're
that.
trying to get her fired.
Listen,
You're like,
here's all I'm going to say.
Aaron,
Here,
you stink. You have a ghostwriter.
Here's all I'm going to say. We've seen Aaron rap one time. It's called Free Scotty. The rhymes were karate and Scotty. I've seen you do actual raps. So just remember that Aaron rhymed Scotty with karate. And I think that
Iconic.
that is your answer.
But I'll say this, the turnaround time on that rap
was wild.
Same thing with the Bryson thing. I mean, when a trend or something drops, Aaron's like, right now.
He is so good about that. I mean, that was one that he just like, I remember him sending me that video and I was like, when did you do this? He's like,
Sorry,
this
is that
morning.
a Vine plaque behind you?
Oh yeah, that's all Aaron. He has not forgotten his Vine days. Aaron was big on Vine.
R.I.P. Vine.
R.I.P. Vine.
People don't remember. How do you think you would hold up in a rap battle against like a YouTube creator? You think you?
You know what's funny is I think I would be okay. I'd have to shake the rust off because I used to do a lot of improv. I did like heavy improv for like a decade. And one of the things at the theater I was at for a long time is they would do improvise like singing and rapping. And I would always jump in on the rap side of things. Because I just remembered I was like, I think everyone gets obsessed with it has to rhyme. And I was like, what if you're just confidently saying? So I make it funny and silly, but I think I comedically could probably hold my own. When it comes to the lyrical genius that you have, I don't know that I would hold up very well.
I don't know about genius.
I think I could get the audience on my side. They might be like, there's some charm there. She's a little dumb. We're on her side.
No,
he's really good. She's a little, we feel bad for her. Let's give her some love.
No, I think that I think that you could be the Caitlin Clark of the golf rap space.
Wow. It's because the lane's wide open, I feel like.
It is. It is.
It's pretty wide open.
It's free real estate right now, if you think about it.
Well, listen, the next time you need a collab and you need to be a female, maybe we'll test it out. Maybe we'll do a little collab, a little rap collab.
I have this idea that I'm trying to pitch. So this upcoming weekend, Ford, the car company, is getting kind of into the content space. And so I'm going to Austin. They're doing this like Bronco off-road thing and some other creators are going on it. I have this idea because I've been trying to get a connection with a car company because all of my raps are done in the car, of like wanting to use it as like some sort of like series for like long form. And my brother-in-law was like, dude, you got to see if Ford will give you like a Ford Raptor.
Yeah.
And then I was talking to somebody
cool.
and they were like, they're like, you should get a Raptor and go on a rap tour. And I was like, wait a minute. I was like, that's actually a good idea. So
that's such a good idea.
The idea is to pitch them on a rap tour, essentially where like do like a cross country road trip. And
that's fun.
My hype man / co-passenger will be different creators in the golf space.
Listen,
I think I do really well.
I think you do really well. I think you need to patent this IP incredibly quick. You know, because Rocky's got that look in his eyes like, I could also be a rapper tomorrow. I can figure that out.
I'm about to call Bobby's ghostwriter right now.
I'm his ghostwriter, actually. Gotcha.
Yeah, gotcha. Send him the tape. Send him the tape. Yeah, no, that's a great idea. That's very fun. I think that gives you a lot of, you just send that invite out for features and collabs and people will be like, absolutely. It's just so easy. That's great.
We're throwing Atlanta on that list with the quickness.
You gotta. It's the home.
I've been to Atlanta 2 times in the last like 4 months. I mean, I've never been before, but I've been there a bunch of times. Yeah. I've been going out to Flat Rock, Alabama, which is it's like 2 hours north of Atlanta. So I fly into there and then I go through. There's this golf course out there that rolls the red carpet out for us. So we've been traveling up there a lot.
Nice.
I love the South.
Rocky, are you in the content space? Forgive my ignorance. Like, what's kind of the full-time gig for you? I know.
I am. I'm not as big as you guys, but we have a YouTube channel down here in Vegas called The Golf Fathers.
That's fun. I love that.
Yeah. And then I'm in the gambling
they got a
space.
Really solid presence.
Oh yeah.
YouTube's our best.
Yeah, Rocky's like him and his guys are like the opposite of me. Like they're more prominently in the YouTube space, but obviously they still have like a really solid Instagram presence.
Amazing.
Whereas like YouTube wise, I'm like non-existent. So yeah, they kill it. They do a really good job. It's hard to get into the YouTube space.
Dude, YouTube is so hard. Good on you.
3.5 years. It's been 3.5 years and we just hit 50K, which it's been a grind. It's been a grind.
It is a literal grind. I've never seen you see these people that are reaching like 1 million followers on YouTube. Like it's
crazy.
Hard, man. So good on you. That's awesome. I will go check that out because I don't have a YouTube. I don't have a profile on YouTube, but I'll go so I have to like actively go to YouTube like a millennial, like
for sure. Now I have one more question and it just came up because I didn't know you were a big basketball fan. But
wait, time out, hold on, pause real quick. I'm just turning off the baby monitor because I can hear one of the kids real quick. I don't want that to be in the background.
Cute.
No, you're
That
fine.
is so cute. That is full dad.
I'm a huge basketball guy. I played college
Are you?
basketball, and yeah, I
Did you
love basketball.
really?
Yeah, and
Where'd
I
you play?
coached. I played it. I played some junior college ball down in Visalia, California,
All right,
and
we're
then
Cool.
good.
Okay.
I coached a junior college in Washington State, and
Good
then
for
I've
you.
just been around it forever. Yeah, but my question would be, being from Minnesota and being a basketball fan, are you bought in on Anthony Edwards?
Thousand
Because
percent. We'll
are
keep
you?
going. Keep
Because
going.
he lost me in the press conference when he said that he has all these other years to, pretty much get back to where they were when he had Mike Conley and guys that were getting ready or getting to the end of their careers sitting right next to them. And he's talking about all the years in front of him when his teammates are sitting right next to him who don't have much. And that's where he lost me. I think he's a great player, but I just don't think he's anywhere near mature enough to win yet. And I haven't really
For
talked to a
sure.
Minnesota fan about it yet, so I'm curious to see your take.
I mean, I'll preface this with I have so much, I'm the biggest haterade of Rudy Gobert. So it's hard for me to have
Okay.
any hate for anybody outside of him because he drives me so mad.
I mean, he started the pandemic. It was all his fault.
It was
Yeah, it's
his
true.
fault.
Yep, he
I
sure did.
just, he's so tough for me to watch.
Now you might lose Cat. You might lose Cat too, right?
He's with New York.
He's with New York. You're talking about
Oh,
Carl
that's
Anthony
right.
Towns?
Yeah, he got
Shit,
traded.
I'm an
And
idiot.
he had
Sorry, I'll
a
just shut up.
booming year. He had a great
He
year with
did.
them. I
Yeah.
was really kind of rooting for New York a little bit because I was like, he gave so much to Minneapolis and he was so gracious in the time. I mean, it's been such a losing organization for so long. So for him
Yeah.
to go and be in a Final Four team and play well, I was like, go off. I hope you do really well. Which is an interesting one, right? Because I think he has that confidence and swagger that I don't think we've seen since like a Kobe, since like the Allen Iversons, which you love, right? Like you love as a fan, you want someone that's kind of cocky, even when it's like frustrating because it comes to the detriment of the team. Like he gets fined.
Mhm.
I do think he has a lot of maturing to do in regards to the fact that he talks a lot of talk and then playoff Anthony Edwards can be non-existent.
Yeah.
Like
That's it right there for me.
and it's tough because you're like, I know this person has the capabilities. He can look really tired and really frustrated. And emotionally, he doesn't get emotional and he doesn't channel his emotions into like playing harder. He'll just get really lazy. And then like, I remember watching when we were in the series against, I think it was the Lakers or Golden State, but he had missed. We were like, he had gone 0 for 10 in 3-pointers. And we watched him selfishly. Like I watched his maturity like go out the window and selfishly all
Yeah.
that was in his mind is like, I need to make a 3-pointer.
Mhm.
I need to make a 3-pointer. I haven't made one all night. And so he
Yeah.
kept just
Yeah.
making really bad basketball plays. And I was like, this is so immature. You don't
For
need to do
sure.
this. Drive to the
Yeah.
basket. It's working. Other people are scoring, but I watched his brain be like, I can't walk away from this game having not made a 3-pointer.
Yeah.
And so I think he ended up going 1 for 12. But he got a single. I was like,
Yeah.
there's
then, like-
some things. Yeah.
And like why in the Lakers series is he in LeBron's face? He's pushing him up and down the court, which I love.
I
I
do too,
love
yeah.
that. And then the next series he's doing it with the Warriors. He's in Jimmy, he's in Curry. And then we get to the Thunder and his energy just completely changed. It was like
Yeah.
none of that like in your face type of stuff that he was doing to the Currys and the LeBrons, which I loved personally. He just like the whole energy changed and they just got beat up on. It was just weird.
The script.
Yeah.
Script's
As a
called.
script,
I mean,
that script was
it
not
could
written
be.
for us, for
I
sure.
mean-
We could talk about this all day, Rocky. I'm
Yeah,
sure
I
Nick's
know,
like, get me
I
out of
know.
here. But
I'm
I will
sorry.
say, I think that LeBron is interesting. I think Jimmy and Steph are interesting because he's played on Team USA with them. So there's a camaraderie there. So I think him going into those games, it was like in his face, but he had that predetermined sense of like respect. So I think
Yeah.
for him, it was the same with Kevin Durant. He's like, I'm going to show up. I'm going to be in your face because
I agree
you
with
know
that.
I love you. I think when
Yeah.
it comes to Oklahoma and you got SGA, I mean, he has no time with this person. He doesn't really have a relationship with them. And so
Yeah.
I think he kind of plays in like shit talking, but also knowing that there's something underneath it. And
Mhm.
I think he got emotionally frustrated because Oklahoma City has one of the best defenses in the NBA. But I also will say, I do think initially he got shut down as a lot of the Wolves did because their type of defense is really scrappy and the calls made them, initially they were like, I think they just got defeated when they couldn't play the defense they were used to playing against OKC. And so they all just kind of checked out.
That's a great explanation.
Would you say you're a bigger fan of the Wolves or the Vikings?
I would say the Wolves, just because I was so into it as a kid. Like when
Yeah.
I spent so many generations of going to Wolves games where it was like, the Kevin Garnett's, and also having we even had the Jimmy Butlers and the Latrell Sprewell and some of these people that like went through those, like Sprewell, the early days.
That's a great one.
The Sprewell spinner shoes.
Yeah,
that's a great one.
So we just had so much go through there, and so I mean, I've been kind of a diehard since I was a kid. The Vikings are just fun because they get you so close, and they have a hope and a prayer, and I'm like, I just think I'm a masochist. I like to hurt myself. I like to cheer for the Vikings.
I mean, you have the best receiver in the league, though, so it's like
they gotta get a quarterback.
And with what? We gotta get a quarterback. Maybe JJ's the guy.
All right, I'm gonna do it, Nick, and I'm sorry. MJ or LeBron?
Here we go.
He's like, let me check out.
We don't need to get into details, but just where are you at with that?
I think I'm always gonna go MJ.
Thank you so much.
I respect LeBron. I didn't respect LeBron until he did what he did with Cleveland. Coming back, being down 3-1, I was like, that gets a lot of respect. I think MJ played a different type of style of game. I think things were different when he played, and it felt more like true basketball when you watch Michael Jordan versus.
You're 100% right.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm not going to give a statement here because then that's what turns it into a 35-minute segment. But I do want to ask this.
You're a LeBron guy. You're a LeBron guy, aren't you?
Huge one. Huge.
And but here's the thing: is like LeBron fans can like respect when people say Jordan, but if you tell a Jordan fan that LeBron's the GOAT, they self-destruct. They can't handle it. I'll say this. This is my statement that I tell everyone. Nobody has been greater for longer than LeBron James. That's not an argument.
That's not an argument. That's not an argument. But if Jordan played that, I mean, he just played longer than everybody. So it's like, it's hard to use
shoulda, coulda, woulda. If a lot of things happen, then things would be different.
If they had HGH that's going into LeBron's body like they did back then for Jordan, it'd be fine.
He's making a lot of great points. I think LeBron's career to be doing what he's doing at 40 and no slowing down, being a top 10 player, it is crazy what he does. He works so hard. He's very calculated. I watched Starting Five. It made me like him more. Because I think he does get a bad rap. I think he gets a lot of bad raps. He takes on so much shit from everyone all the time, and that can't be easy. But yeah, I do think sometimes I also was never a fan of the creation of the super team, which I think I credit LeBron and that Dwayne Wade and the Chris Bosh. I was like, oh, this sucks, because now that's the norm. Everyone's like, how do I make a super team? And you're like,
no one brings the championship to them anymore. Everyone goes to get one. It's not.
I will say, but this is the first year we had that. We had two teams where it kind of, which I was kind of stoked about.
I was going to say, I think that's where the NBA is headed. Is I think that like people are like realizing now, like it's not super teams anymore. It's like one superstar and like really, really good role players. Like you had the Thunder this year. You had the Celtics. Like you just have to build a really good, well-rounded team top to bottom. And I think that, you know what I'm saying? Because like, look at the Lakers. Like the Lakers traded for Luka thinking like, oh, we're going to be a shoo-in to get to the finals. And that's not what happened. And let me ask you this. Who is one, like if you were the Wolves GM and you had to go make a pickup for somebody that you were like, this would get us to the finals, who would you go out and get?
I would drop Rudy and I'd pick up Giannis. And I think that would change. Maybe not even like
that would be amazing for the T-Wolves.
I'm just thinking of like if we had, and I truly watch the Wolves, and I'm like, this team would be a different team if our big consistently knew how to rebound the ball and attack under the basket. He looks so uncomfortable when he has the ball offensively, and I'm like, you are 7'2". All you need to do is get that ball, do this, and he just looks so uncomfortable.
And he'll show you spurts that he could do that.
I know.
Every now and then, and then it goes away for a couple months.
I know. It's kind of he's fascinating to me. So I would probably look into, even like a Chet Holmgren. Like he was so fun to watch this year for such a skinny young guy. Like he attacks, he wants it. So I was like, you even put someone like that who has more confidence and isn't afraid to go at something. I'm like, that'd be really fun to watch. Because I know Giannis is a superstar, and that would be Ant and Giannis kind of. But
that would be
if
crazy.
I had a dream situation, that would be it right awesome. There.
Yeah, I'm sorry about Rudy's performance. I probably bet his over on those nights. That
as you should. You made a smart business move. I can't be mad at you for that.
He's 7'2". Why would I bet his over on rebounds? And then he gets like 6 and fouls out, and I'm like, great. I didn't want to win money anyway.
Oh, you said you bet that he was going to? I thought you were saying you bet against him.
No. Like whenever I bet on just obvious things from players that they should do, they just want to come out and not do their job.
Oh, yeah.
It's crazy. The NBA is actually like the most frustrating sport to bet on because like, Jason Tatum, who could put up 50, will go out and put up like 12 or something.
For
and I'm
sure.
like,
I can't stand the Celtics though. That's another conversation.
Yeah.
If I watch a team and your entire offense is I'm going to shoot more 3-pointers than you, that is the most boring basketball I've ever seen in my entire life.
It was tough to watch them against the Knicks. They were just jacking.
I wanted it for the Knicks.
That's it.
It was so bad.
Oh, this is a fun question. So, okay, I remember during the Knicks, sorry to cut you off, but this is a fun question I want to ask you guys. The Knicks really popularized courtside seating. So you had like Timothy Chalamet, Ben Stiller, all these people showing up to these games. If you, first of all, pick your team, I want to know your team. Who's your ideal sitting to your right, sitting to your left? It can be anybody. And you're watching your team in the finals. I want to know.
Rock, you go first.
Okay, I don't have a team.
Whoa.
But
and you're a big basketball guy. It's crazy.
I think that's why though, because I just like I'm from Vegas where there's no team and I just like players. But I would say right now my favorite team to watch would be the Warriors. I love Steph Curry. So
he's great.
if I'm at a Warriors Lakers game, I would want DJ Khaled to my right.
All right. Okay.
I just a great height, and I would want Joey Colcuts to my left.
Those are so good. Yep. Never did I think someone would be like, I want to sit next to DJ Khaled.
I can just imagine how much fun I would have with him next to me, just losing his mind over every little thing that's going on in the game. I just think I would, and I know Joe would have a huge bet in next to me and just sweating it out. So it would just be, it'd be a blast.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's a great one. So we did on a few pods ago, I asked the guys, it was actually one we had Sonny on. I asked Rocky, I was like, cross-country road trip, you can bring like 3 people with you. Who would you bring? And I'm pretty sure his first pick was DJ Khaled. And I'm like, I don't think I could make it cross-country in a car with DJ Khaled because he would just be playing his own songs and be like recapping how the song was made and what he was thinking when he was in the studio.
Yeah.
And I would just be like,
I would love it. I would love that.
Like, dude, just shut up.
Every couple of miles, he's like, let's go golfing. And you're like, you know what? Actually, not a bad idea.
I think he's the funniest man ever.
Man, I shot a 64 yesterday, man. I had 12 birdies.
No, like, no, you didn't.
No, you didn't.
I don't think you did.
I heard he broke one of the screens at TGL. Like, and then was like, go get me my driver, broke a screen, then they replaced it, and then he was just like, still swinging, still hacking.
Yeah, I think DJ Khaled is like, it's set up for me. This whole thing, I know you think you're doing a competition here, but it's set up for me.
Mine.
So I'm going to do what I'm going to do.
Like, we the best, you know? Like,
right.
So my team is the Sixers, which is really, really tough. So like when I moved to this area, eventually I kind of just adopted all of the Philly teams except for the Eagles because
interesting choice. Okay.
Because the one team that I could never like forsake was the Cowboys because my family is originally from Texas and they're diehard Cowboys fans. And so it's been a tough life. I'm not happy about it either. I don't even like to watch them right now. But when I moved up here, like, because we didn't have like a team in Virginia. And so I was like, I'll just root for the other Philly teams. And so a Sixers fan, which being a Sixers fan right now is a lot like being a Cowboys fan.
Yeah, it's a bummer because they got a good roster. They had some good roster pickups. Anyway,
they do, but they have Embiid, who's glass bones. I think Tyrese Maxey is great. I think you got to give him the keys to the team, and you got to get rid of Embiid. And they got some good role players. I think the ideal setup for me would be like Sixers against like the Celtics or something like that, because I would just love to see them beat the Celtics. Courtside with me, I'm gonna say Drake because I love watching Drake courtside at the games. He's my favorite rapper.
Okay.
And then on the other side, I'm gonna say Kevin Hart.
Okay.
Interesting. Okay. This is so fun. I'm learning so much about you guys. This is the best.
I just feel like I would want like a comedian that like I'd want somebody like, and I just feel like the dynamic between like Drake and Kevin Hart would be hilarious, and I would just be sitting there watching them go back and forth, just being like, because Kevin Hart would just like be like roasting the crap out of Drake. And
for sure, they're just going back, and you're just watching. You're just like, it's all going down.
This is awesome.
Just
the rules. I'm on board.
What about you?
I think it would be Minnesota, Denver. I think it'd be a fun one. mostly because DeAndre Jordan is a friend of ours now. Like he's a golfer and he's a
Yeah.
friend. And so I went and saw him recently and gave him shit while he was playing, which was fun. So it's like fun to have someone on the opposing team when
Yeah.
your team is winning. But sitting
Mhm.
next to me, I think I'd want my younger brother because he and I talk so much basketball.
Yeah.
And I think I would take Timothy Chalamet. I think that would be kind of fun.
Okay.
He's a certified
That's a-
ball knower.
He's a ball knower, and I think he's a little shit talker, and I think it'd
Yeah.
be kind of fun. I think like, he'd be screaming because you don't want to sit by somebody that's not going to get hyped. I don't want to
Yeah.
be
No,
by someone.
absolutely
No matter how
not.
cool you are, I don't want to sit there and be like embarrassed if I'm going to stand and scream, and you're going to be kind of like, yeah, no, it's a good game.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
I need you on board. So I think based
like
on what
that.
I've seen, I think he'd be fun.
Yeah. Every day I like Timothy Chalamet more.
Same.
Like when he went on game day and like had his picks and like had like data, I was like,
Yeah.
okay, like this guy's for real. And like even seeing him courtside, like rooting for the Knicks and stuff like that. Like I feel I don't typically have like a second favorite team in sports, but it's for sure right now the Knicks. Like the Knicks just have an energy right now that like when the Knicks are good, it's just contagious. Like it just feels like basketball's in a good space.
It's fun to watch. I love Jalen Brunson. I think he's
Yeah.
really fun to watch. I think he really, I mean, you know, you can say what you want about the flop era, but I think he's still fun to watch. I'm more forgiving of Jalen Brunson than I am of SGA. I'm
Yeah.
like, nah.
Dallas
I
really
have a
fumbled
really-
the best backcourt in Luka
They
and
did.
Jalen Brunson. That's crazy.
It is crazy.
But
That's
when you have
wild.
an ignorant Knicks fan as a friend, it's really hard to support the Knicks.
Oh,
Like,
no.
Oh, no, I know
have-
about ignorant fans. Trust me, I live in Philly. I'm
Yeah.
a Dallas fan.
Yeah, the Knicks
Oof.
fans can get pretty brutal, and I have a best friend that's one of them. So it's I'm a certified Nick hater. So just because
Oh, that's
of him,
fair.
just because of him,
We struck a nerve.
Yeah.
We struck a wound over there.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was so happy they lost.
West Coast stuff. But well, that's pretty much all we have. Hannah, once again, we appreciate you coming on. Appreciate you talking
Thank you.
ball,
Thank you so
golf
much.
with us, talking rap battle stuff with us. Who knows? Maybe we'll make this rap battle thing happen. I don't know.
Hey, man, I wish you all the best. I think it's a great idea. I hope the rap tour comes to Atlanta. Rocky, next
Mhm.
time you're coming through to Alabama and you have some free time, maybe hit me or Aaron up. Maybe we play some golf while we're just
Let's do it.
have some downtime. I would love
I'm
that.
trying,
That would be
I'm trying to get
amazing.
out there to film with Aaron before the summer's over. So
Yeah.
if you're in town and rock, I mean, maybe I could work something out.
You just let
Let's
me
play.
know, brother.
Let's
I would
play
love
what's
it.
saying.
I would love it
Anything
too.
you have coming up or anything you want to shout out or talk about before we let you go? Anything to be looking
No,
out
I'm
for
about
in
to
San
go.
Andre?
I don't think so. Just, content, trying to
Yeah.
do as much stuff as we can. If there anything is exciting happening, you'll be the second and third person people I tell.
Heck yeah.
Perfect.
Behind my
Let's
mom.
go.
I'm
Awesome.
gonna ask. I also, speaking of moms, I can't wait to send this episode to my mom because my mom is your biggest fan and is
Yeah.
always like,
Hey.
"Oh my god, did you see the St. Andre one with Hannah? It's hilarious!" Like she's
My
gonna lose
wife
it when
loves
she
you
sees this.
too. I didn't even tell her that we're doing this. I'm just gonna show her. She's gonna freak out.
I love it.
That is so cute. I love you guys. Like my mom's.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I saw the video, Nick, of your mom, like you secretly filming her talking about all the creators. I was like, this is such good mom energy. I love it.
It went on for like an hour and a half, and then I asked her like favorite creators, and I was nowhere on the list.
You're like, I want to think that it's because you don't put me in there because you love mine so much. You're thinking
Yeah.
I'm asking of others, mom, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, and then
Mhm.
I asked her, and it wasn't in the actual video, but I was like, Mom was like, "What about St. Andre?" And she's like, "Well, they're a group." So like, I was just doing like solo creators. I was like, "Wow, look at you, already turning
Look
your
at
back on your
you.
favorite." She's
That's,
like, "No." She's like, "They're my favorite group," and I was like, "Yeah, we'll see."
hey man, at least she knows. I don't think my mom knows any other golf creators. She's just locked into St. Andre and St. Andre only. But she's also now a critiquer. She's got critiques, which I was
Oh,
like, oh no,
that's tough.
we've created a
And
monster.
monster.
Yeah, she's
We
like,
created a
"The next time
monster."
your expression, you need to
Yeah.
dial it in a little bit more." You're like, okay.
She'll watch the long form. She's like, you had a lot of bad shots. And I was like, oh, okay.
So I actually counted if you want me to pull them up.
Yeah, she was like, I was waiting for you to hit a good one, and finally you did. And I was like,
Appreciate
right.
that.
thanks. Thank you so
No
much.
one's more honest than your moms. I love that.
Never. Yeah.
Well, we appreciate you once again taking the time. Once again, Hannah from St. Andre. We'll link their socials down below. Hannah, thanks again. We look forward to having you on sometime again in the future, and we'll talk about
Yeah.
the Minnesota Timberwolves championship because they will be
Yeah.
winning one.
Please.
Yep.
Thanks for having
All
me.
right. Yeah,
Thank
appreciate
you.
you. We'll talk to you soon.
See
All
ya.
right.
See ya. All right. Well, that was awesome. Hannah's the best.
She's amazing, man. That was so much fun.
I remember like when I first met her in person for the Bridgestone filming thing, it was kind of intimidating, like meeting the whole squad in
Yeah.
person, because it's just like you see
I
these
was
people.
nervous. I was nervous for this pod, and I don't know how many episodes in we are anymore, but we've had some big names on here, and this was probably the first time that I was a little nervous for this episode because it's just like one of those moments where you watch these people for so long
Yeah.
and you just think they're so good at what they do, and it's just then finally you're sitting on a computer screen looking at them, and it's just having a conversation. It was pretty cool. I
Yeah.
enjoyed that a lot.
Yeah. I liked the rap battle segment.
It was
Uh,
awesome.
she was, I mean, I don't want to say, Grant's got something to prove after this,
Yeah,
but
for sure.
uh, yeah, I might hit him up and be like, yo, I'm going to ghostwrite for you. And I want you to
Hmm.
drop some bars and show the people that you're
You
nothing to
could
be
do
played
this.
with.
Yeah,
It's like,
I love the fact that she's an MJ guy too. So I
oh,
mean,
come on. Come
I mean
on.
that's probably the first one we've had. Is it not? You guys have been triple teaming me since we
Yeah.
started
No,
this
yeah, it
podcast.
is.
So
It is. We got to
it
get
was
Mason
good.
back on here because,
Yeah, we do. We got to talk about this.
yeah, because we said on the last one that we were
Yeah.
going to talk about it. I'm going
You
to
know what we
text
should
him.
do? You know what we should do, Nick, is we should put on our social that we're gonna have a live episode, and whoever wants to come in and talk LeBron and Jordan, we could just bring them in, and it's like Mason and Joe, whoever wants to come in could come in, and let's just get it all out because
That's
I'm ready to
great.
get it all off my chest. I'm sure there's a lot of LeBron fans that are ready to attack me after all the
Yeah.
hate I've thrown that way. So
Is this something that we can do live on Instagram?
I'm pretty sure we could.
Can you do like 3 people?
Yeah, you could bring three people in,
Yeah,
100%.
we need to do this.
You tell me when, and I would love
Okay.
that.
We're gonna schedule it. We're gonna do this. I
Let's
like
do
this
that.
idea.
Yeah, we'll just keep bringing people in, and we'll just get after it.
I mean, at some point, you know, soon we're gonna have to start having the conversation on SGA or MJ. You know?
I don't even want to start, please, please. I'm
Oh
not a
man.
huge fan of the new NBA. I gotta be sold a little bit more, I think. But I'm
Yeah.
not gonna hate. I'm not gonna hate.
Look, I'm already looking forward to baseball, end of season, postseason. I'm already looking forward to NFL. It's coming back soon.
Yeah, we're like
So,
10 weekends away from college football.
ooh, I can't wait. College football.
Hmm.
I'm so ready
Come on,
this
baby,
year
we're almost there. We just
because
gotta survive.
I'm still turning a blind eye to my NFL team. So trust me, we're all in on college
Oh,
football right
you're all
now
in on Manning, huh? I know
because
you are.
you know who's the favorite to win it all this year.
Are they? Yeah, they're
Come
just
on,
they're just going off of Manning, which I have thrown some hate Manning's way towards you,
he's
but I
built
did
different.
but I did see
That
a
that
video
interview,
where he's very humble,
very.
and I'm just gonna shut my mouth and see what happens. But I I'm like a weird person where like when my good friends have like teams that they love, I almost cheer for the downfall of it. I don't know why. It's like a sick thing.
That's terrible.
It's
That
a
is
sick. I mean, at least I admit it. Like
that's
it,
terrible. Because do you even have a college team?
UNLV.
I mean, one
Yeah,
that's like
say what you want
relevant.
about that. Say what you want about them, but I mean, no, I don't really have a team besides the Knights. Like
I
that's
tell you
it.
what, there's nothing more dangerous than for Arch Manning to be that humble, being that talented, because
Or he
that
just is setting himself up to have an average season. I mean, either one. You could be right, or it could be the other way.
nothing is more dangerous than a Manning that can run, and that kid can run.
We're gonna find out. We're
And
10 weekends
thankfully,
away.
Quinn Ewers is gone. They're opening up the
So
season.
it's national championship or bust for you, right?
Yes.
Okay, so if you make it to the championship game and you lose, it's a
Oh
bust.
God. Yeah, it's heartbroken. I mean,
Okay, I
I will
respect that.
I will say that like that doesn't mean like I'm like, oh, blow it all up. It just means like, all right, next year we're gonna take it. But I will say as we get closer to week 1, we have to get Bear Down back on here because
Yeah, we do.
Texas opens up with Ohio State.
Oh, do they?
Yeah. And I
Dang,
want to
so
talk
you could
about
be
that
0 and 1
rematch.
right away. One of you guys is going to be
Stop.
0 and 1 right away.
It ain't gonna
That's
be
going to be
us.
big for social media.
It
I
ain't
mean,
gonna be us, let me tell you.
that's
In
going to be
fact,
someone on the Instagram app is going to be very upset after that game.
in fact,
Between-
I want to start thinking of a wager with Bear
You
Down.
definitely need to have a wager with Bear Down. If we're bringing him back on, you got to call him out.
Like, part of me wonders, do we make the wager and then have him on after? Like maybe the punishment.
Or maybe
happens.
we ask him like, hey, are you willing to come on before for 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Talk about this wager and then have you on after the game to talk about what happened.
Yeah. I feel good. I feel good about Texas this year.
Is it a 1-2 matchup? I mean, Ohio State's got to be ranked up there too, right?
I think they might be too. I don't even know what the rankings are. I got to check them. Hold on. I'm going to try and see how quickly I can get this up. College rankings. Oh, wow. Oh, wait, no, that's 2024. Oh, wait, they don't
have the rankings out yet?
No, I can't see them. Are they out yet?
You could just go off of like whoever the favorites are. So if the favorites Texas, they'll be 1.
Okay, here we go. Yeah, Ohio State, Notre Dame, Oregon, Texas.
So it's a 1-4.
Wow.
That's exciting. What's the date on that?
As of June 24th, as of today.
No, what's the date? The game, it's first week?
Damn. Let's see. Yeah, it is week 1. It's like
what's cool though is that you know that like whether they win or lose that game, it's not over yet. It used to be like that game was like
August 30th.
Like, a couple of years ago, that game would be the national championship game, week 1.
It's at Ohio State too.
Oh wow. What's the line? Is the line out yet?
I don't know.
It's got to be
noon kickoff.
I would say the line would be. Let me guess.
I like a good underdog story.
I would say. Let's look. I would say 2.5 Ohio State.
I'd probably take Texas
Ohio
plus
State's
3.
It's Ohio State -3 over 50.5.
Okay, yeah, I'll take Texas plus 3.
No, we're going money line. Come on.
Oh no, I would take money line and spread
for sure. That was a lot of fun today, bro. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, that was a good time. There's still one person we have to get on here before we wrap up the first season.
I know, man. He don't respond to me much anymore.
We'll make it happen. We got to get Joe back on here.
Just being honest. We can get Joe back on. I'll write Joe. Let's get Joe back on. Let's get Bear Down and Mason. Let's focus on those 3.
Yeah, let's do it. All right. Well, until next time, folks. Appreciate you guys. Another episode of the Barely Made Podcast. We will see you next week. Peace.